Welcome to this Life in Code's case study, where I'll be discussing with Mindaugas about licensing cost optimization and other services we provide. Thank you for joining this call, so we can explain together what exactly Life in Code does, and who we help, how we help, and first of all, maybe you can introduce yourself a bit and share some of your experiences.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ovidiu, for making this call. So shortly about my background is that I have 14 years of experience in web development and over 5 years of experience in Atlassian products. As well as I have multiple certifications from Atlassian, and I am really passionate and skilled Atlassian consultant who helps clients to achieve their business goals and optimize their workflows.
Thank you for presenting yourself. Well, today we're gonna discuss about licensing optimization within the Atlassian infrastructure. And first of all, maybe you can explain why do companies need an audit?
Yeah, well, there are several compelling reasons for that. So first of all, it's optimization of license costs. The second reason would be just to improve application performance and a consistent experience for end users. As I said, optimization of license costs is that an audit helps to identify inactive users who are consuming license seats without adding any value. And in my life, I've seen a lot of examples, especially when companies are growing. They have pretty well onboarding procedures, but sometimes the offboarding of employees is a little bit broken. And I've seen that there are users who are inactive for 3 months or more in Jira. Or sometimes the invitation is sent to user to create their account, but the user never accepted invitation, and it's not even visible in the organization Jira website. It's just in the administration panel that the invitation is sent. So, but Atlassian is still counting as a licensed user, even if there is no profile. So this is one about the users. The other cases we've seen is that, for example, suspiciously high number of Jira service management users. And an audit can reveal misuse of really expensive licenses when we compare Jira service management to Jira. And again, example was that an organization had a lot of Jira service management users. And we got some questions, why is it so? And then we decided to go into the details. And then we see that 1/3 of all those users are responsible just for one thing. They either approve the issue or decline the issue. But you don't need to have this license for this kind of functions. This comes out of the box with the Atlassian products.
And those are the most expensive ones, right?
Yes. So, yeah, so this is quite a thing that you have to be aware and think, because for admins, it's very easy, just, to set up and then there you go, you have a working workflow. But is it done in a correct way? That's another question.
How long will it take you to do such an audit, and what do you need to start with?
Well, Ovidiu, the precise time frame depends on the size and complexity of the company's Jira setup and what is the client expectations. But typically, the audit takes from 1 to 3 days, I would say, where we apply our best practices. In cases where things involves merging elements or migrations, then it can take 5 days or even more. But to start the audit, what we need is, first of all, is we need to set audit scope. We need to define goals. And of course, client has to provide access to the Atlassian products.
Okay. And who's responsible for checking or for doing the audit or for updating the Atlassian platforms based on the audit?
Well, implementing changes inside the company software ecosystem like Atlassian typically falls under the head of internal IT team. But however, the nature of Atlassian products often needs the involvement of Atlassian consultants. And here is why. The internal teams are responsible for day-to-day management. They ensure smooth operation of the software. They address technical issues, and they handle the basic configuration and maintenance. While Atlassian consultants, they play more strategic role. Consultants, they focus on optimizing and aligning Atlassian products with the company goals. They keep track of latest updates and advise the company how the new features or updates might impact their current workflows and suggest modifications accordingly. Also, consultants can develop custom solutions for unique company needs, as well as evaluate and recommend marketplace apps. And sometimes companies are using two apps who are doing same function. So then why do you need those two apps? Maybe you can just use one. And of course, as seen in the audit example, consultants can identify areas for cost reduction, performance improvements, and we can also recommend marketplace add-ons that would automate certain work processes and ensure that everything works smoothly, and also provide the training to staff. So, in conclusion, while the internal IT team handles day-to-day tasks, an Atlassian consultant ensures that the company investment in these tools delivers maximum value.
I was about to say the same thing, that even though everything can be done internally, usually people are way more focused on the day-to-day job and checking their small part than having a big picture and keep track with all the updates and all the new features Atlassian is providing, right? How often a company should do such an audit?
I think that it should perform a similar audit on an annual basis. But there are some exceptions, and there are some scenarios which might request more frequent audits. And for example, if the company is experiencing rapid growth, it's putting a lot of employees, then you might need, more often audits. Or, for example, if the business is implementing major new systems, so you need to be sure that all those IT systems are scaling properly and they are aligning the business processes. So, the ideal frequency should be determined based on the context, and including of company size and complexity, and of course the rate at the organization is experiencing changes.
But the minimum would be at least once a year.
at least once a year if everything is ordinary. But if you are experiencing growth, then I would suggest more often.
More often. And besides the financial aspect, what other benefits can be by having an Atlassian audit?
Conducting an audit can reveal a wide array of insights and opportunities for improvement. And the audits can assess whether the current setup aligns with the best practices and standards in the industry. This, an audit can uncover security risks such as improper user access controls. And by examining workflows, custom fields, configurations, an audit can identify areas where processes are complicated or redundant, and they all lead to inefficiencies. Then can assess whether the current system setup is scalable and flexible enough to accommodate the future growth. So it's not only about the financial. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Is there a difference between cloud and premise setup?
Yeah, there is a difference between those ones, and for the cloud, the Atlassian itself manages the infrastructure, software updates, and security. So for cloud, the audit will focus more on configuration, correct usage, access controls at the application level. And for on-premise, then the company, the business has full control over the infrastructure, software, and data. So the audit needs to take into account the entire stack, from physical security to network configuration to the application itself.
Is there any ideal client that needs to have such an audit and at least once per year?
Yeah, I would say ideal client could be any organization that relies heavily on Atlassian products. And what is also important is that fast-growing companies, they often find that their systems evolve in an unstructured manner. So you need to be sure that their systems are scalable. And of course, companies undergoing digital transformation could be, I could say, ideal client. And also companies with a high spend on software licenses and maintenance is also an ideal client.
What are the Atlassian products that you gonna check during the audit?
The specific products included in the audit would depend on the client's usage and the complexity of their setup and what are the goals of the audit. For example, a client utilizing the software development features of Jira Software and Bitbucket would require a different focus if compared to another client primarily using service management for IT support and Confluence for internal documentation. So we take all Atlassian ecosystem into account, and then we set scope of the audit and what are the goals, and then we select the products.
Okay. Thank you, Mindaugas, for taking the time and answering to all my questions. I hope everyone will find it useful. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and you got some valuable lessons out of it. If you want to find out more, you can check lifeincodes.com or use the link below to set up a meeting with me. Thank you.